Okay, we're going to attempt to teach you how to play Studies in Sorcery. So, I've already set up everything here with the playmat, which I did in another video. So, we're going to focus on how to play. The number one thing that is going to help you the most in learning how to play is this rules aid card. It's two-sided. It talks about what to do on your turn and what to do after everyone's taken a turn, the things you do together. So everyone has one of these. These are super handy. You can learn a lot of stuff just from reading that. But at the core of the game, what you're going to be trying to do is complete project cards. So project cards are worth credits towards your final grade if they're completed. So this one here is worth 1. Okay, bring that one up here. So here's another one that's worth 3 if it's completed. So on the back side, they have a front and a back side. The side that's got the ingredients on there, the materials that it needs, is the front side, and the back side that's just got like words and diagrams is the completed side. You can see that it hints that it's going to be worth 3 points, and then it's worth 3 points. It's not just worth those credits. It's also going to do stuff for you. So this is a potion that if you drink, it allows you to draw a whole bunch of cards. Different projects will do different things. That's what this potion does. So projects are our core thing that we are trying to do. So how do we do them? Well, as you saw, I should just pick, why did I put it down? It's so relevant. It requires materials. This one requires a vial and 2 mushrooms. So where are we going to get those? You see those icons right here, those vial and those 2 mushrooms? Well, we got this project from the market. This market here has all sorts of projects here that we'll be able to buy down here. And there's also some other goods, including this vial, which matches the symbol. So that's one of the things we need to get. And it costs money to get projects and these stock materials. This one costs 2. Everything's a trade system. You trade things of value for value. So we know that vial is one of the things we need, but where do we get the rest of our materials in order to complete this project? We get them in the graveyard. We're going to dig up things from this graveyard in order to get our materials. So the game is divided kind of into these 2 halves, which the playmat kind of divides for you. Either you're going to the market to buy things, or you're digging in the graveyard. Those are the 2 things you're going to do most of the time. So digging is the most fun one. Who'd have known? Digging in a graveyard is fun. So the way that we do this is we've got these grave piles underneath the gravestones you got here. If you don't have the playmat, all of this is the same. It's just the playmat makes it a little more colorful and fun and organized. So if we're digging, what we do is we take the leftmost pile, the one furthest from the deck. Here's the deck. It's got the little mound there, but that's where the deck is. And we got 3 piles there. They're actually underneath there. They're labeled. If you want, you could have the cards below. Either is fine. You pick up all the cards in the leftmost pile and you look at them. So what do we get here?
A mushroom.
We did get a mushroom.
Yay,
so
mushroom.
This pile has a mushroom and an urn. We want a mushroom, so we could say, cool, we got what we wanted. We take these, and these go into our hand. All those. If you take a pile, you then reset that pile with a card. So let's say we didn't find a mushroom there, or let's say we're digging in a future turn to find another mushroom. So we go dig again. We start with the leftmost pile, we pick it up and we look at it, and what do we get?
Ring.
Yeah, ring. Oh, it's worth a lot of money there. See, it's worth 5.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
really
But if we're really focused on getting mushrooms, maybe we don't want that. So when you don't want a pile, you put it back down and you add a card to that pile. So there's something there that you know and something there that you don't. And then we go over to the next one. So here we got some other stuff. A little bit of glare there, but not what we're looking for. Not the mushroom. You know, maybe you're looking for more than just a mushroom. So if I pass it, I put a card on it, and I go to the next one. All right, again, we got some stuff that might be interesting to us, but maybe we're focused on this mushroom, so we pass on this. So
we need to get a mushroom.
if you pass on all the piles, notice they've all the cards piles have gotten bigger. So there wasn't a mushroom before, but there might be a mushroom next time. I have a choice. I can either take the top card of this deck, whatever it is. I have to take it blindly. I don't get to look at it and then decide. I got to just take it randomly. Or I can take a free candle or vial, one of the 2 stock cards.
I mean, I already have a vial, so probably I'm gonna take.
You take the random pull. Well,
Nope.
she got a skull,
Yeah.
which hey, she gets to keep.
I will probably eventually need. Not right now.
You'll probably eventually need that. So that's what a dig action looks like. You're going to be going through the piles, trying to find the stuff that you want, and wondering if the pile that you're looking at is good enough, or if what you really want is the next one. And at some point, you may be just looking at so many cards that you're like, well, this isn't what I was looking for, but it's so much good stuff. So that's the thing that you'll be doing most of the time, which is that dig action. So this is a rules reminder, dig action. The other thing we can do is buy. So let's say we took all that stuff that we dug up and we wanted to go to the market and buy something. The way that this works is that you can trade in cards for their listed dollar value to get stuff from the market. You can trade as many cards as you want for as many cards as you want. These top decks here, these aren't part of the market. These are showing what's coming in the future. It's everything down here. So let's see, you got that skull and that urn, right? We wanted to keep the mushroom.
Must keep the mushroom.
Must keep the mushroom. But we got $5 worth of stuff that we could trade in here if we want to trade in both of these cards. So we could trade in $5 worth of stuff. These go into the discard. Just face up, just kind of in a pile here below the deck. For $5 worth of projects and stock items. So maybe we're interested in. Oh wow, these all cost 2. That's how that worked out. But maybe we're interested in making this worm golem. He looks cute.
It looks very cute.
And we're planning ahead. We see we're gonna need what stock item there?
We're gonna need a candle.
Yeah, we're gonna need a candle. So let's get a candle at the same time. If we add up the 2 costs of this, what do we get?
4.
4.
I still have 1 left.
So you got 1 left, and there's nothing that we can buy worth 1. So that 1 is just lost. You know, we don't get any change in this world, but we get to add this to our hand and the product to our work area, and so we've added projects and stock items. So again, that was the buy action. That's the second thing that you are likely to do on your turn. And I won't go over the bottom of the other 2 ones, cram or project action, because most of the time you're digging or buying. So anyway, everyone's going to go around and do one of those things. I know we showed multiple of them, that you're going to choose one of them. And then after everyone has taken their turn, we move on to the commit step. So this is you see little 2 cards here. You can track it with your moon track here as we go through. We'll talk about that in a moment. And here is where we actually do the work of working on our projects. There was a little glare though, so right here. So you have cards in your hand. Just keep them over here. And projects you're working to, and you can commit up to 2 cards total. So that can be 2 to the same project, or 1 each to different projects, or less than 2. So you want to make some commits?
I'm gonna commit my vial to the confusing concoction and the candle to my worm golem.
Perfect.
Candle.
So then after everyone's committed, then we're going to move on to the complete step. So here we see if anyone has completed any projects. In this case, we haven't yet.
Nope.
If we had, they would flip over to their completed step, their completed side. So flip from here to here, and then maybe do stuff. So like we talked about, that confusion concoction is going to let you draw cards. And that's the end of one of these rounds. So we move our little time tracker here to the next turn. So what is this? This is the moon track. And it is walking you through time until the end of the semester, when grades are going to be due, and we're going to see how everyone did. So we've got 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. My face is blocking that, but there's 4 phases of the moon here. And as we walk through them, that's moving forward time. And every time we complete that, we're going to move to the next month here on this semester track. And when we complete 4 total months, so that each of those is 4 phases of the moon, so 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, 16 turns, that will be the end of the game. And we'll just see however many credits everyone has, and the person with the most is the winner. Yeah. So there's some other details to this. There's things that happen whenever we reach the end of the month. There's the cram action. There's the, actions that happen specifically during certain phases of the moon. There's little details like that, but frankly, this is the basics, and this is what you need in order to play. And you can sort through the rule books for the rest, or I can give an explanation of that. But I think this covers basically how to do it.
Okay.
All right. All right, we were about to get playing, and then there were some things that I left. I intentionally left some things as an exercise to the reader because we're just sitting down and we're about to play. So I thought I'd share the explanation. But here's the first things that I forgot. I mentioned when in the game setup that everyone starts with the green cards, and one of those is this research grant. You'll notice it says research grant, and it's worth $5. So this is the thing that everyone has at the start of the game. You were granted this money to help start up your education. And you can trade it in just like any other card to buy stuff. So
although it does not do anything else.
It doesn't. It's not used for anything else other than the money in the beginning of the game. Use it, and then it's gone. And unlike other cards that you trade in to buy stuff, this one doesn't go in the discard pile. It goes back to the box when you spend it. Okay. The other thing I didn't do is fill in the market after we had our purchase action there, our buy. And the way that things are filled in, let's see, we should have done that back here, is that depending on where you are in the semester track, says what types of projects go in which of the columns. So we dealt with this in the setup phase, but it comes into play throughout the game. So for where we are in this first month, what project should go right here?
A 100?
Yep, 100 level project. Our 100 level projects are up there. So just take the top one, put this up in the market. There you go. So when someone is done buying, not in the middle of their buy, you'll refill all those things. Yeah. Any other questions before we get rolling? No? All right. We're just going to play. Okay. We've reached the end almost of our first month here in school, and some important things have happened on this term. So we're going to guide you through them because they seem useful. The first thing, during the commit phase, I'm using a fancy skull on this reanimate project I've gotten. So you'll notice that this one has a little +1 symbol there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And since I happen to have a normal skull right here, you can see the contrast. There's like a normal skull, and there's a skull that's got a +1 on it.
It looks like a bird skull.
It's actually an okapi skull, which is a relative of a giraffe, which relevant for the publisher of the game.
It's weird.
It is weird, isn't it? It's a weird giraffe.
Very weird.
So when something that you're using for an icon that matches like this, which is true for my reanimate project, it wants exactly a skull like that. And it has that +1, I get to take one of these extra credit tokens and put it on top of the project. These are two-sided. There's a demerit and an extra credit, -1 and +1. And so that is going to modify the value, the credit value of my project when it's completed. So this isn't just your normal skeleton. It's a very nice skeleton. It's been done well.
He's a dancing skeleton.
A dancing skeleton with an okapi skull.
Yes, a dancing skeleton.
Notice that there are also materials that have demerits on there, -1. So if they're a particularly bad match for the project, that could produce -1s. So that's one thing that happened. That was during our commit phase. So now we've moved on to our first complete phase where we're going to see who, if anyone completed projects. Now we start with the first player. Of note, she's been the first player this whole month. That's about to change, but the first player stays as we go through the month, and then it'll change. So first player gets to complete any projects first. So what do we got here?
I completed my confusing concoction because I used 2 mushrooms and a mandrake.
Yep.
And a vial, of course.
Let's see if I can hold this up to the camera so you can see that concoction needed 2 mushrooms and a vial, and she ended up with 2 mushrooms and a vial. Those mushrooms, there are 2 different types of mushrooms in there, but it doesn't matter.
There's a mandrake and an actual mushroom.
Yeah, they still work for the thing. So here's what happens when you complete a project. We check to see if there's anything that happens when it completes, and that'll show with the same little icon here in your rules reminder, that little check mark. So what's it say?
Draw 4 cards.
All right, whenever you draw cards, you always draw them from this deck. You get
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Then we take all the materials that were used to complete it, and we put them in the discard.
Okay.
Or rather, we put all the purple ones in the discard, and we put the stock ones back on the shelf.
Yeah,
We'll put it on the shelf. And these will go in the discard.
Yeah.
And flip it over now that those are done.
Confusing.
And it's worth how many credits?
3.
3 credits. And there's no ongoing ability or anything else you need to know about there. It has a little icon there to let you know that there was something that you're supposed to do as it completed. But other than that, you just got points on the board and a whole bunch of new cards.
Yeah.
I also completed a project. I completed Spectral Sight here. It just needed stock materials, it turned out. So those are going to go back to the market so that we don't run out. And this thing gets flipped over. Now this one didn't have any when completes ability. Instead, it gives me an action, a project action that I can do on future turns. But notice that big old full moon there? That means I can only do that action when we're during the full moon, when that's the current turn. But it gives me a powerful ability that I can use about once a month. So that's cool. So at this point, we have finished the 4th quarter of this month. So we finished the month. So we follow the steps at the bottom of the sheet here about what happens then. So we are going, well, I'll do them in order. We pass the first player token clockwise. There's only 2 of us, so I would like to be the first player now. Thank you.
Okay.
We add 1 card to each grave pile.
Okay.
Gets a little more interesting there. Moon token goes back to the beginning, so it's going to be the first quarter. We move our semester track right here. And then the last thing we do is the market is going to get a little interesting.
These 2 are going to get replaced by that.
Close. So yeah, you're right. That we're going to have 100, 200, 200 instead of 100, 100, 200. But what's actually going to happen is we're going to slide it all to the left. And then can you give us 2 200 projects here?
Okay.
Those are gone.
Okay.
We have some helping hands. Still in draft. So with that, we are into our 2nd month, and we are 1/4 of the way done through the game, and we're going to do that, what we just did, 3 more times.
Okay.
All right, we have reached the end of the game. We completed our semester here, 4 months. We made many magnificent projects, and we tallied up our scores. The way that we did this is we took all our completed projects and none of our incomplete projects, although we both finished all our projects.
Yep.
We didn't have any hanging out. If they're incomplete ones, they don't matter. They're not counted. But we summed up all the, that's where the camera is, all the values here, and just out of the completed things here, plus any extra credit markers. The convenient way to do this is we make like little groups of 10. As a bonus, if you end up with a whole bunch of grave cards left over at the end, you can turn in every $8 worth of them. You can turn in for an extra point.
Yeah.
So after all was said and done, I ended up with 29 points over here. I made an unstoppable bone sphere and some potions.
Super funny.
I had a couple of spells that I learned. Ended up with 29 points. Over here, however,
I got 34.
34 points.
At first it was 31, but then my extra cards came in because I had like 15 extra cards.
Yeah, she had 3 points in extra cards and lots of good extra credit.
I had 3 extra credit from the little tiny tokens. And I had a fungal animate, helping hands, which was so useful.
That was really good.
Confusing concoction, bone sculper, apparition, worm golem, distilling draught, and mutation mixture.
Lots of reanimates and potions with just the right amount of spells.
For some reason, I need a lot of mushrooms and worms.
The last step, which I should have had on hand, would be... where is it?
Where is it? Okay.
Is to be first in class.
Yay.
There you go. That's how you play. Thanks for watching.